go through.
What I'd like to do right off is reorganize the board right now. I want you to go back to chair.
Okay.
I'll be vice chair.
Okay.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
I'm fine with it.
Okay, because he's better.
This is, yeah, that's fine. So we're gonna switch a room here?
All right, the motion
I'm
was,
taking this.
the motion, sure. Motion was made by Willie, seconded by you, and all in favor.
All in favor, aye.
Yep, I just wanted for clarification. I missed you, Willie.
Yeah, this is Matt's job. He likes your cologne better.
So the second thing on our agenda is the introduction of our new public health nurse.
Come on up, Cheryl.
Like to come right up front and center. How are you? I'm Matt Gagner.
Hi, Matt. Cheryl Rowinsky.
Nice to meet you.
John Sanborn?
John, nice to meet you. Jim, I know. Thank you.
We know. We serve on the executive board together. We actually went to Georgia,
We did.
Oh,
did some training, so.
Great.
But as you know, we hired Cheryl and we went through the selectmen approved and went through, so starting July 1st, we will no longer be contracted with Deborah Sierra, which is Harrington Hospital, and Cheryl Witzke would be our public health nurse. She's the best in the business, does many towns, but we felt that in cost savings, it was getting absorbed, and we only have so much money, so we didn't have any lapse in service or anything, and Cheryl is very, very good. So.
and Cheryl is also, you've been associated with Oxford, is that correct? Oxford Sutton?
I'm the health director for the town of Sutton.
Okay.
As well as the public health nurse. I wear many roles, many hats in that
Okay.
town. I'm also the public health nurse for 14 communities.
That's that way. And I was just trying to remember which one's around here because Charlton is surrounded by
Charlton,
7
Austin,
towns. but-
Spencer, the Brookfields.
Okay, so we're
Yeah.
right in the middle.
Yes, yeah.
Good.
And we'll be checking, we'll be doing, we took some Maven training, but I'll have Cheryl come in and go over it with me so we can monitor some of the stuff ourselves. We contracted with another company because that Sharps belongs to Harrington.
Okay.
It was only a few dollars more, but it's actually gonna be cheaper, the same one you have.
Oh,
Yeah, the one
United.
that Cheryl recommended, we got in there. We did get some estimates, and in the end, it was the cheapest, so I think there was something in there, did you guys see? A letter that I'm sending to Harrington and
Okay.
Sharps.
No, I haven't seen that one.
I'll make sure I get it forwarded, I think it forwarded to you, but it's just saying thank you for your services and stuff that we've contracted with.
Is that all the shops throughout the town?
Yes, and a lot of people use it. A lot of people, gentlemen just asked me today and said I'm gonna bring Sharps in. I've already taken one box and it's already full in 2 days.
Really, huh?
Yep.
So they just come in here? anytime?
We give them the Sharps container for the convenience and.
Oh, okay. Oh, that has individual containers in it?
Individual,
Okay.
yeah, and they, we bring them, but now a company's gonna come in when we're ready and they'll just pick it up and dispose it. That's one of the services we have to provide.
That's good.
Now, there's a tick that just came up.
a lot of ticks.
And Nature's classroom just got it. And
One of our children's camps.
he's been in the hospital for a long time, and they just can't figure out what's going on. Do you know anything about this?
I'm very well versed with ticks. Is it the Powassan virus?
Well, they had him in there for Southbridge, they couldn't do nothing. They sent him to Worcester. He'd been there for 4 or 5 days, and then he went home and had to go back into the medicine. They tried all kinds of medicine, and they can't quite figure it out. Do you know anything about that? Maybe it's a deer tick, it's a small tick.
It's probably a deer tick. It's a deer tick and a dog tick. Those are the most of the two ticks. But there are a lot of diseases that both types of ticks carry.
This is a new,
The new one is called the Powassan virus. It's very new into the state. I've already had 3 cases of it. It's very aggressive. And if you don't get on it right away, if you don't get tested and treated right away, it actually just kind of like invades your body and attacks like organs and
he was
different
right there,
areas.
and the only one was sleep.
Yeah,
Medicine.
fatigue is very big, a muscle and joint pain, and if it goes untreated, it affects your heart and also your brain.
Yeah, there's lungs and
Yeah,
everything.
it's pretty intense.
And we have put on our website a link for update for,
Is that people come and say, oh, it's just a tick. No, no.
No, just a tick is
So
no.
I'm glad,
Do they typically treat that with an antibiotic still?
Usually, they catch it right away, they usually put you on antibiotic for 21 days. But unfortunately, from what I have seen, what I see on Maven is the online reporting that I get from the state. It's only the people that are tested for the disease that come back positive that it shows up on my workflow. Lots of times somebody will look at it and say, oh, you got a tick bite, you got Lyme, or you may have this. They just put you on the antibiotic without even testing, so who knows what you have. So sometimes you need to be treated more than once for antibiotics, and sometimes you may be treated for the wrong antibiotic. That's something
a lot of people have sensitivity to the antibiotics, like I had to go on to the hospital itself to go on IV antibiotics
Yes.
for 30 days.
Yes. And some people now, I know there's a lot of controversy in a lot of different schools of thought, but some people are actually being treated for a whole year.
Really?
For a
With
disease.
antibiotics?
What's that?
With antibiotics for a full year?
Yeah.
Wow.
So,
because we're on TV, that's why I want to
that's fine.
tell everybody,
Yeah.
what to do and what,
Ticks are very important. I always tell, I work at school, I do camps also. Very important, I tell people, do tick checks. When you come in, walk through the, anyway, even walking from your, in your yard, you don't realize how the ticks are just so light, they glow. And try to wear light colored clothing. That's what they show up the most. And if you have a tick on you, it's the first 24 hours that you're okay, but after that, it's been on you and embedded more than that. That's when you start getting into your bloodstream. I know, huh? Believe it or not, let me tell you, a lot of people use lint brushes. They'll just take a lint brush and just roll it on their body, and just in case they pick up anything. Yeah, anytime.
I guess I just wanted to, are we gonna still do the school vaccination? We're gonna offer that?
If it, we can do, we've talked about doing in continuing services, school vaccinations and stuff. They didn't offer the mist last time.
Correct, it's still not up.
It's still not offered, so parents are very reluctant. We always encourage people to, especially in the schools, because they want, parents want to sign off on it, is to go to your primary care and give them information. But if anyone would want to still have the, the seniors and stuff downstairs, but we didn't. In the schools last year, she did something very low participation. Very low.
Yeah, and this seemed like it was the thing, and then
Parents are in the
Vaccination.
anti-vaccination mode right now, and they just wouldn't. It was not very successful.
I think the way we discussed it last year, though, is even if the participation is low, at least we're able to offer it.
I agree.
I can work with Jim to set up dates with the school and to see what works to go out. And that's what I usually do with all my other communities out. I like to go early.
Yeah.
The earlier the better.
We won't have any lapse in the services. As a matter of fact, we'll provide better services. Not that Karen did do a great job, and Deb's very good public health nurse. It wasn't a personal issue. It was more of an issue of financial, improvements on behalf of the Board of Health to make sure we look elsewhere because we only have so much money and we're responsible for the budget. So.
I do have a question. When you do the school vaccinations, the flyers would go out obviously to the parents, and then they would call back. Send something back, say yes, here's my son's permission slip. So you would have an idea roughly of how many. Like, oh, we got 100, so you know in advance how many vaccines to take. Okay, just curious. And take some extra in case somebody does a walk-in or something.
Plus, when we have the full clinic downstairs, it's open to anybody. It's not really, no one's turned away.
And this is at the senior center.
Yeah, because it goes through insurance.
Correct. And if they don't have insurance, I just, give them anyway.
I know as well in the past, Jim, we've also talked to the superintendent of the school to get their input about it. If you remember, we
Yeah.
actually were having those joint meetings with Doug Anchow and we get.
I haven't met the new superintendent, who's been there for a while, but certainly he's open. I have spoken on the phone on some issues with the schools, but yeah, we can certainly have to have his support.
Right.
And it's a regional school district, so Dudley Charlton, and she knows Mr. Purcell, we work with him, so, and he's trying to get her to work.
I have one more town, I'm just gonna close my doors at 15 communities, so
Yes.
I've got one left, and he's one of the two that are knocking on my door.
So we may have both sides of that anyways.
Well, I'm glad we got you, so.
Yeah, you came on and recommended.
Well, thank you. Just to let you know that this is an intermunicipal agreement, so they're between, the agreements between the two towns. So knowing that I've already worked in municipality, I have the mindset of municipality, so I'm very cost effective. I run my own department, so I know how budgetary constraints and fiscal responsibility. You know, in addition to the nursing aspect as well as the public health piece. As Jim alluded to, the emergency preparedness, very well versed in emergency preparedness, the two of us.
Yes.
So,
Work together. We meet once a month. We just hosted, last meeting before in Charles at the library.
right. Well, I participate in a lot of conferences, nursing-wise, for public health nursing, as well as for public health. So, like I said, I wear hats, so I'm very, informative and up to date as well as Jim. So we collaborate a lot. Any questions we both have, we will pick up the phone and call. We have a question on anything. I was doing a camp, and I just finished one in Oxford the other day.
They called me. So you're very nice.
They're ready to go. So, yeah.
It's camp season and we have to be diligent. Make sure the tick information is out and not getting, like you said, the log camp and all that. And we always are make sure that things are correct. So we did have some. The state is coming with me, Dave Williams. He asks once a year to come to a different camp. They don't have local authority, which I made clear in the past, but I didn't want to deter the state from coming in. They specialize in the camp inspections. I usually run the show, and he brings a trainee with him. But I certainly, listen to his input. He's very knowledgeable and a very nice guy. But the state will be with me in Nature's classroom on the 21st.
Is that,
Of June, yeah. That week I'll be doing, next week is camp inspection week.
when you do that with the state, does that just happen to be a random camp?
Last year it was Camp Joslin, and this year it's, every year if there's a problem the year before, as Charlotte knows, then they'll ask to come with you to that, to make sure that they're, are being properly inspected, that there's nothing being missed, and then proper procedures being followed, which I'm very thorough at sitting down and making sure that every single section is adhered to. So, and Cheryl, like I said, if we have a problem in the camp, as we have in the past, I notify Cheryl if we have a cluster illness or whatever, and she would do a report.
Well, I appreciate the openness and the communication between you, because it's, goes a long way to be able to talk and say how you feel and say what it is, and so that open communication is great.
Yeah, no, I mean, Jim and I have known each other for many years, so we've worked in the same field for a long time, so
Yeah.
we're on the same wavelength and things like that, we have the same philosophy. So.
Good.
It's good camps, like you said. Camps can be troublesome, but as important as, I don't think parents know how important camps are. They do not realize that the health department inspects camps. So rest assured, when you have somebody here at camp, you just said, oh, my kid's going to camp, not realizing the work we've done in the background, making sure that the background checks are okay, the health forms are up to date, the place is safe for them to go to, things like that. So a lot of parents don't realize that aspect of camps until unfortunately something happens, which unfortunately I was involved with a couple of years ago, that something happened. And the state has come in the past couple of years. And rightfully so, nothing on our part,
Right.
but it was something on the camp part. And it was rectified, but because of the significance of the issue. It's something that they're concerned about, and again, those set of regulations that we follow, they're minimum standards. So, minimum to some people may be maximum, but to us, they're just like the bare bones.
We also have the overlooking our community, so
Yeah.
that itself is probably a project, especially if something was to go south up there. I can imagine what's gonna be involved in it. Yeah, so,
I actually know the medical director up there.
good.
He actually lives in my street, so
Oh.
I can just go knocking on his door.
He might come knocking on your
houses
door,
up.
yeah.
So,
Yeah.
but yeah.
Well, welcome to the team.
Thank you, thank you.
Thank you, Jeff, for coming.
Thank you, I'll take over as of July 1st.
Yeah,
I will contact the state to make
Yep.
sure that I have access to Raymond, if you want
Yes.
to.
Yep.
And then we'll go from there.
great,
All right?
thank you.
All right,
Joe,
anytime
thank
you
you
need
very
to
much.
call me, I'll be more than happy to come to a meeting.
Okay.
Thank you again.
Yep.
Nice to meet you.
Thank you for coming in tonight.
Thanks, yep.
Nice to
Thanks,
meet you.
Cheryl.
Thanks,
Talk to you.
Jim. Yep, bye-bye.
Sorry you had to put up with him.
Oh, that's okay, it's not a problem. Take care.
Next on the agenda, we have a well variance for number 4 Cranberry Meadow Road.
Hey, Cheryl.
Thank you. I got it.
Deed restriction.
Yes.
Hi,
How are you?
I'm good. Hi, you remember who I am?
I remember that. I can't remember.
My Galicia's sister. Yeah, I met you a couple weeks ago. Hi, I'm good.
It's a small world.
I know,
I know you look familiar.
yeah, I knew you were looking like, I know I don't remember why.
I thought you were Jay's mom.
I am Jay's mom. Oh. I'm always known as Jay's mom.
Yeah, right? So anyways, Jay actually called me today. He had to be out in Rutland or something today, so he wasn't unable to come to the meeting. Basically what it is it's a lot owned by you, is it?
That's my lot, yes.
Yeah, okay, so number 4 Cranberry Meadow Road in Charlton, also known as Lot 10. They did a water result, and it came back high on radon and gross alpha, was it? Yeah. So basically, our well regs say if your gross alpha is high, you must test for uranium, 226 and 228. Now, in the past, what's happened, and John, I know you've been on the board since we've done one of these, is when the applicant or the homeowner knows that it's going to be, cost effective, they automatically put a filtration system on. So when they've done that, we have not made them test for the uranium and the 226 and the 228 because it would be a moot point. Even if it came back high, we'd make them put on the same filter system that already exists. So instead of spending the money on a test, we've allowed them to put that savings right towards the filter system and just mitigate it. Yeah. So for that, 2 things. One, you need a deed restriction regardless because you have the filtration system. Willie signed that off today, so you're good with that. So now you need a variance to waive the testing for the uranium and 226 and 228. So if we could have
All
a
right,
motion for
Dan,
that.
I'll see you down there, I guess.
I'll make a motion that we proceed with the deed restriction as stated with the filter system.
Is there a second? All in favor? Aye.
So this will follow when the property changes hand years from now?
Yes. Through the deed
Right,
restriction.
through the deed restriction, so
When I
it
die.
applies it.
'Cause I'm
Well,
not
I wasn't
building
gonna say
again.
that, no.
I'm done.
So this is your house, you're gonna live there?
Yeah, we're building.
Don't lose it.
No, I won't.
So does this have to go to the registry of
Yes,
deeds?
the registry of deeds.
Okay.
And it goes with the title of the home.
Yeah.
Yep.
So I know because Jay, I know is heavily involved, and I'm sure he's steering you down the right path, but we as a board don't have a way to make sure you're changing your filters and you do it. So like, say you have this filter and you don't maintain it as the manufacturer recommends, it could actually make the problem worse because it holds that material in there and it's a higher concentration of the water flow. So I just like to say it, make sure you do your due diligence on your filters, whatever, it's yearly by, whatever they tell you to do it. It's very important that you stay up on
I
that.
will, because I also don't want to drink bad water.
I'm sure you don't. And it's, a lot of people say, oh, I put the filtration system, I'm good. Well, you're good for a while, but you're really relying on that
Well, I
filter.
guess I have to keep adding salt and stuff too,
Mhm.
and I don't know. It's a
That's-
big, huge, complicated thing.
It's not too bad,
No.
40-pound bags, it's,
It looks more complicated than it is.
yeah, it won't be too bad, but
Yeah.
just wanted to tell you about, the Could we, if it was up to us, we'd, you know, everybody that has a filtration system, we have no way to police it, and say, so all we can do is word of mouth, so.
No. I will, like I said, I don't wanna drink bad water either, so.
Right, nobody does.
No, or have my grandkids over, no.
Right.
So I'm gonna do
We
it.
want you to stick
Yeah.
around.
Yeah, I wanna stick around too.
Yeah.
What you see at the next cookout?
Yeah.
Yeah, the wedding.
Together.
I'm gonna go to the wedding.
That'll be coming up, yeah.
24th.
Big time,
Baby's
yeah.
wedding, yeah.
Thank you very much.
All right, thank you very much, everybody.
welcome.
Nice to
Send
meet
us a
you.
fine gentleman.
Oh,
My son.
well, thank you very much. Thank you very much.
He's a good kid, very smart, you should be a
Works
proud
hard.
mom.
I know.
Take care.
Thank you so much. Bye-bye.
Okay, ongoing business, we have H Foot Road
Again?
again. There's been a lot of correspondence since our last meeting. Basically, they extended the comment period on that.
Yes. And we have a letter that I did forward to the board, and then they came back with the final from Anderson Krieger.
Yeah.
So it's pretty standard. It just gives basically what we had in there before, but it's not verbatim, because I checked. Otherwise, it was going to tell we're paying them for them to paste and cut what I had already written, along with Gary Magnuson, and so it's not.
Okay.
So we checked. Robin had suggested that because of the zoning, which they've appealed, that it would come from the attorney on behalf of the board.
Yes.
And she called me today, emailed me, she wanted to, I said, I have a meeting tonight. I would ask the board if they're okay with going forward with it. And I'll have to email her tomorrow if they need any additions, deletions, or changes to it.
Was this what you sent in the email? to
Yeah,
us?
yeah.
And I started reading, I was like, I don't know
It's-
better than a lawyer.
No, and it's, you know, it's to the point, it's really nothing different
Yes.
than we had written before, actually, just changed. And there's this section in there with the zoning, which upheld the appeal, you know, it's appealed, but they upheld the decision of the alternate zoning enforcement officer, and that will come back to the board later if there's site assignment needed, then it's the privy of this board to hear that.
Yeah.
The site assignment would only take place if it affected Charlton, is that correct?
It does affect Charlton in this case.
Well, I
and that's
know,
what they
I know.
ruled. So they've appealed it. If
Right.
the appeal's upheld on behalf of the town of Charlton, then they're gonna have to go to site assignment for that detention pond and whatever there.
Okay, so regardless, as long
Regardless.
as those ponds are still there, they would still have.
And that would be under the privy of the board.
And the site assignment is almost a sure thing, is that?
Oh, no, I don't think so.
No, I mean, a site assignment, if they appealed and then they
Yeah,
got along.
and I think just in Southbridge tonight, they have a non-binding vote,
That's right.
so. Yeah. So, but I think their town council's already voted in the negative on it, so it's a non-binding vote, but it's a vote.
Anything else you want to talk about on the photo?
I would yield to
The
the
residents?
residents. We have all the signatures, they're registered, Southbridge has them. I think the only thing we're waiting for now is the ACO has been signed, is the pump station, which the water and sewer is working on, which affects how soon we get the water up there. We need that pump station. So,
Has the land been,
I'm not privy to that information at
who
this
would
time.
have that? Because somebody was asking about
Water sewer.
water sewer.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's under the purview of Water or Sewer Department. Negotiate that along with,
Maybe even through selectmen, I don't know.
I don't know, I'm not part of that. I can inquire about it.
It was brought up at, gosh, I've been to so many meetings. I think this was in Dexter Hall last week. And there was a big unknown, nobody seemed to know.
No, I don't, I think when you're in negotiations with a party, I think you have to remain,
And that's fine, I was just curious whether
Yeah, and
it
I-
is or it isn't, you know, I don't need to know.
I would like to say it's done and
Yeah.
we're proceeding forward.
Because that's needed for everything, even for
Everything.
ExxonMobil.
You're absolutely correct.
Casella, Southbridge.
Everything.
These folks, everything, yeah.
So,
know. So, just while we're still discussing the H Foot Road, Gary did give us a paragraph, so I'll read that from Gary from CMG Environmental. H-Foot Road Project, RTN 2-1967-8. A lot of data from Ty and Bond continues to be provided to the Board of Health. CMG is conducting a limited review of this data. Ongoing sampling of residential wells, groundwater, and surface water appear to be conducted in accordance with DEP requirements. A few points of interest. The 1,4-dioxane at 65 H-Foot Road influent report at .628 parts per billion last week. Double than the .3 parts per billion standard. At 81 H-Foot Road, 1,4 common dioxane was detected in the mid-sample in the April data, illustrating breakthrough of the first carbon unit, not the second. Carbon change was conducted on May 3rd. Time bond instated BR-1 to a depth of 940 feet to replace the irrigation well. This well is located 355 west of the irrigation well. No lab data for this well in the May 2017 IRA status report. CBOH systems watch lists include 54, 74, 91, and 93 H-Foot Road. Next note concerning H-Foot Road. The May 2017 IRA status report notes that the waterline construction is expected to begin designed and installed over the next 12 to 24 months. The IRA status report also states, as outlined in the ACO, upon the installation and operation of the waterline, SRPD will submit an IRA completion report resulting in the closure of this case number, which is RTN 2-1967-8. So that's Gary's comments on H-Foot. I know that we were getting the emails on it. There was a breakthrough on the, is that your house?
Mhm.
Yeah. Did they come out
Today, they came and changed the filter.
today?
My question is, so the sampling was done, and I don't have the exact dates in front of me, but the sampling was done early May.
Mm.
It took them 3 weeks before the sampling, however quickly the sampling was done. It took them 3 weeks to get back to Ty and Bond.
Yeah.
And then allegedly, they contacted us within 24 hours of finding out those results.
Mm.
And then when they contacted us to tell us about the results, that was last Thursday, and it took them until today, Tuesday, to get out to replace it, to actually replace it. I said, come out, we're here now, when do you want to come out? He said, I'll be there on Tuesday, we have something else going on.
Did they bring you bottled water?
We're on bottle.
We still on?
Yeah. But my concern is, what's with the 3 weeks in between? I mean, why, if it's getting tested and we know there's a problem, and it's been a repeated problem, why is it taking 3 weeks to get to Ty and Bond? And if they really did contact us within 24 hours, I'll give them the benefit of the doubt, despite wanting to do that. 3 weeks, and then, so that's breaking through the midpoint. It was high. And the influent testing and the mid-fluent testing, there was not much difference between the two of them. So it's coming through pretty concentrated where it's staying.
Yeah. I saw your email and I did see the response. I think it was from Matt.
Yeah.
And Jeff Harps,
Yeah.
the record, because he's the LSP on record, so he did
Right.
respond to you
Right.
with a pretty good response, but it goes to show you that filtration doesn't work.
Right. And I just think, at this point, too, 3 weeks is just too much.
Yeah, I agree.
Let's be honest.
Well, they said that if they sample a house at one of the JNs and all of a sudden it's above the legal standards, they notify you within 48 hours. Well, we had a breakthrough, and they take 3 to 4 weeks to tell us that it's going through. I mean, why isn't there also a 48-hour standard for that, because like she said, it was beginning of May. This is close to a month later,
Yeah.
and now we're getting a change. How do we know that it's not going through the other one now?
Right. And we didn't get that 48-hour notification either. So,
Yeah, we did it.
no,
No.
they never issued one.
You never issued.
What are we doing with that? I just
I
told them no, and it's still.
I told Matt Wagner, I didn't speak to Jeff Harps, that this is acceptable as you did. And he agreed, so they're gonna change make sure it's done properly, but he said so much testing going on, so that doesn't negate the fact that there was an issue.
No.
No, but
And
the
there's-
samples they take, sorry to interrupt, samples they take only last so long.
Right.
And supposedly, if they have, there's a lot of testing, but when they do a sample and they show there's an exceedance, they get it notified right away.
Right, it
Well,
should.
if they see that, like on us, here's the midpoint, and here's an exceedance going through, it should be notified right away. Not like, okay, let's do the whole month's worth of sampling, and then at the end of the month, okay, now we're gonna give you all the
Because I did the
information.
water sampling for the town beaches, and that chain of custody, that has to be kept on a certain temperature in a sealed bottle, and it has to go to the lab quickly.
So the lab knew about this a month ago.
So if they had it quickly and they sampled it quickly when they should have, what's the lag time
Right.
before getting it to Taiwan?
Right.
And then getting to us, and then whenever the advanced water quality can come out and finally change it for us. And
I
they
don't
said-
blame Advanced Water Quality.
No,
I
no,
mean,
no,
they,
I
that we're
agree.
not their only customers.
Right.
They got notified Thursday, they came out today, and you got a weekend in between.
Right.
That's fine. It's the, they did the sample and a month later, oh, by the way, you have exceedance. That's
Yeah.
breaking through.
65, 81, and us seem to be consistently always having the highest levels that we're finding. So, you know, somewhere put us at the top of the list. If it comes up again, we gotta hurry up and do something. It doesn't make sense that they would just be kind of lumping us in and, you know, the way it's working.
How long, is this the first breakthrough?
Yes, that,
How,
yes.
how long did that one hold out?
Since September 6th of 2016.
So since September.
Almost 9 months.
Yeah, about 9 months.
Wonder if we could, I wonder if there's a way to, you know what I mean, like every 6 months automatically change it and give you a fresh one or something. And then, you know what I mean?
Yeah, sure.
Well, I know 65, I know they were first, and they've had theirs changed twice.
Really?
The guy that was there told me today, because I asked him, I said, we have a breakthrough, I know 65 had a breakthrough, has there been any others? He said 65 had to go twice.
This
So,
is- The testing is done every month, is that correct?
monthly.
Monthly.
Every Friday, I get a round of tests, and Matt Wagner sends me and gives me a phone call. And he alerts me of any issues. He has to. And this one was this Friday, and I was like, you know, Gary gets notified the night before you get the samples also, but,
Yeah.
yeah.
No, I just don't know, like, you know, I run heavy equipment, so I have air filters.
Right.
And I have gauges on my equipment, right? So as it starts to clog up, you can tell it's half full, and then once it hits the red, you know it's bad. But I can kind of tell as it's going. You guys don't have that
It's
system.
not overnight.
Right,
And like you said, what came in and what was going through were almost identical numbers.
yeah,
They were very close. So that means it didn't just all of a sudden, boom, there it goes. You know, I kind of makes me think that the last testings, it was breaking through, but it was at lower numbers where like a J hit, oh, we can't really record that, so we're just gonna, or, you know, I don't know. I'm not gonna say that they ignored it, but I don't see it going from nothing going through and then all of a sudden it's going straight through.
right.
There had to be something.
Yeah, or when there's a failure, that's it. It's failed 100%. You know, I don't know. I really don't know. how that
Right,
system-
and then how much is getting into the other system and is it going through that?
Right. Mark, do you recall? They told me several times. I forget. How do they do that filter system? Because they alternate them, right?
The influent one, they took out
The new one goes on the effluent
on the effluent they put to the influent.
to the mid one, and then the mid one goes.
They actually made a note on this. It says replace first carbon tank, put second, first position, and new in second line.
Yeah. There's two positions, well, two tanks.
Right. Okay.
You
Yeah.
got the first one coming in, and then it goes into the second. They removed that one and took the second, put it back to the first, and put a new one in here.
Yeah.
But with all that going into the second one, I mean, like we said, with that much going in, we don't know, you know, was anything going through the whole time? And if it's not, it's been getting bombarded now
Right.
with quite a bit.
I think they should sample right away if they change.
Well, they
are.
are, supposedly they're coming tomorrow. They said that they wanted to sample the day after it was put in, so they're coming tomorrow. And then I think they're gonna sample it a week later, and then I think another week after that.
He said they would be diligent in making sure that testing, like you said, there should be a red thing, that flag, that the three houses that are most likely to get hit, to be expedient on those tests, getting it back. You know, the other houses,
At least.
you know,
Right, but when there's a breakthrough like that, I think it should be just like somebody that's exceeding, that never had an exceeding before. They get notified right away. There's an issue, because now that's a safety factor. You get a double safety factor, one of them's down. Now you're relying on this one. We have no idea if that one's failing or not failing, because there's no test to show.
I have a question. What's the filtration cartridge or whatever, the media that they use? Do you know what it costs?
charcoal filter.
So it's.
Some of them are coconut.
Is it like the size of a helium container, it's 5 feet tall?
It's about this big in diameter and roughly just under 5 feet
Yeah,
tall.
Okay.
it's pretty.
I'm just curious of the cost because, you had a.
The cost of them, he told me,
I mean, for them to come out and change it out.
550.
550.
The guy today said they had a contract with the sellers, $550 to come out and change it, that's everything.
And-
It's
and
not
that's-
on that.
Yeah.
That's for one of the cartridges?
That's for one cartridge, and the cartridges that they're using, like the one that failed us, they're just gonna go back, take everything out, clean it, and refill it, and reuse it. It's not like it's a brand new cartridge. He said, the one they put in today is a used one.
And that's what happened. Gary had the issue. Changed it out 3 times.
That's not fair.
Yeah, he told me that the new one they brought in isn't brand new, that's a used one. That's one that they had problems with before, they just take everything out, clean it, refill it.
You guys drinking the bottled water?
Oh, yeah. The only thing we use with our water is shower and dishes, because you have to.
Yeah. It's just too much
Laundry.
water.